help you. I'm gonna try. Cute as hell, baby, hotter than flames. Wanna burn together in a million ways. Now let me take the lead. Know you wanna play with me. Got secrets you might wanna see. You might wanna see. You might wanna. I know I'm not gonna regret this. Wanna get reckless, please to the test, yeah. I know I'm not gonna regret this. You're reckless. You're reckless. I want reckless. I wanna get reckless. Couldn't keep your poker face. Oh, you kept me waiting when I wanted to race. Sweet as hell, baby, you're sugar rush. I knew you were giving temptation was craving. You love it, you hate it. Now let me take the lead. Play with me. Got secrets you might want to see. You might want to. It all. You can deny. I know I'm never gonna regret this. Wanna get reckless for you to the test, yeah. I know I'm wanna get reckless. I wanna get reckless. I want. Hand on the wheel, got my pistons pumping, all 800 horses running. Oh, baby. 125 in the middle of the night, got my engine thundering. Dream machine, racing queen, I'll take you wherever you wanna go. Slow it down, breathe the speed of sound. Tonight, we all know. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat, you make my heart beat. Dream machine, racing queen, you make my heart beat, you make my heart beat. Passion behind it. Racing queen, you make my heart beat, you make my heart beat. Born tonight, Mustang 65, got that V8 engine with a fuel injection. Drop the clutch, pedal to the floor, turn the gate back into ions raw. Dream machine, racing queen, I'll take you wherever you wanna go. Let's slow it down, break the speed of sound. Tonight, we Machine, everything queen, you make my heart, you make my heart beat. Machine, everything queen, you make my heart beat, you make my heart beat. Like passion behind it. It's never too late to admit when you're wrong. Turn a new leaf, see a new dawn. The time to decide has come and gone. Just give me a chance, we can carry on. I made my choice, the strings of your voice, they run through my head as I remember the day. Stay in this moment.
Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to another Monday, and you guys know what that means. That means we have some lovely Fortnite builds for you tonight, and we have 3, maybe even 4 very wonderful teams to watch. Obviously, you guys know we always try to improve production quality around here, so amping it up a little bit, just throwing our hat in the ring a little bit, see what we can do. But with that being said, let me introduce you to the teams tonight. Our primary team, our #1 team, the team we will be watching the most. That is SniperTimeTV. And that team is composed up of Sean, aka Sean Time, and Cam, aka the Sniper. Our secondary team is the team we'll be watching here and there a little bit, trying to tune in, trying to get their a good chunk of their job. Obviously, it depends on how our primary team does, but that team is Famous People. That team is composed of Brady, aka BL Mace, and Miko, aka SRW Miko. And finally, well, not finally, man of habit here. We have our third team, which is the Chefs. You guys know this team, one of my favorite teams to watch. That team is composed of Jack, aka Chef Jack, and Zarek, aka Z Fight. And finally, now I can say our extra hidden fourth maybe team. We're gonna try to slide in, see if we can't see how much of their game we can watch. See what we're gonna be able to do. Is the corrupt Capybaras, and that team is composed of Gavin and Cohen. Gavin, aka Novel Movie, and Cohen on one of the VHEL and Camp Hill accounts. So it'll be very interesting to see how these guys can do tonight. Obviously, this is a stacked roster. This is a stacked lineup of teams we're going to be watching tonight. Obviously, SniperTimeTV, a team that we've watched quite a few times. Hopefully, a team that you guys love, a team that we love to watch. Also, famous people. Again, another team we watched last week, a phenomenal team. Expect them to do really great things. I want to shout out both those guys, Brady and Miko. Huge guys for the arena. I absolutely love what they're doing, and we expect that those guys are going to continue to improve. And then the Chefs. Like I said in my intro, you guys know this team. You guys know this team. You guys love this team. I love this team. Chef Jack and Zarek. This is a phenomenal roster. This is one of the best duos I think I've ever seen in a while, and very excited to see how those guys continue to climb and play together. And of course, our little extra / fourth team, the corrupt Capybaras. Really interesting to see. This is our first time ever watching them this season, so really interesting to see what those guys are going to be able to do for us tonight, assuming we can watch even just a snippet of their job would be great. But ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start, so let's switch over and see some Fortnite. All right, again, starting with SniperTimeTV. Currently watching Cam's perspective here, so let's see where him and his duo, Sean, are actually going to decide to drop. And it looks like here they're going far. They're going on the edge of the map. And as soon as they leave the bus here, action will be started. And I guess I should break down the divisions for our teams tonight. So SniperTimeTV, actually the only Div 2 team we'll be watching tonight. These people and the Chefs both in Division 1. And then the corrupt Capybaras are Division 3 teams. So obviously as drop codes kind of happen, and then obviously there's going to be some difference with those things. So we will keep you updated. I will do my best to keep you updated on results and kill feeds and all of that fun stuff going on. But for now, Division 2 is the only division that has dropped, so we're going to have quite a few minutes here to watch SniperTimeTV before Division 1 and Division 3 both drop. You guys still have a long way to go. I'm actually seeing another glider on the visual audio indicator, so I don't know if maybe someone's going to contest their drop, or maybe if someone's just going to pull short, but you would expect going this far away that they really wouldn't get contested, especially with the unnamed POI, but other teams might be thinking the same thing. No, it does look like that team did pull short. So SniperTimeTV as a duo is going to have a lot of time to loot this hotel, maybe? Mansion? I'm not really sure. This building. That's probably a better way to put it. Don't know the amount of loot that's going to be here, so that will be interesting knowing that there's only one building between the two of them. But so far, it seems like an okay amount. Obviously, we see Cam already finding a chest, and the visual audio has another one on the radar there. And right now, SniperTimeTV just gonna use all their time. And actually, seeming like a good amount of loot here is Cam finds another 2 chests. We have to assume Sean found some as well. So these guys might be able to be a little picky with their loadouts here. Maybe not as much as they would like to, obviously. I think you can always probably get better loot, but and now we're really gonna see these guys start to gather materials, really pick this unnamed POI apart here. And it looks like Cam here is going to try to find maybe this last chest. In the stall, y'all. Chest in the stall. What's it doing in there? And Cam's loadout here actually pretty good. Actually, probably just about where he wants it to be. Maybe rarity-wise could improve a little bit, but the AR, the shotgun, the chainsaw, one of the best movement items in the game, the chainsaw is. I think that's a great item. And then, obviously, the medi and the big. So, Cam's loadout here looking phenomenal. We don't have a quite exact idea of what Sean's loadout looks like. And actually, why don't we just take a peek at that? Sean's loadout looking very similar. Carrying the SMG instead. And it looks like he's going to pick up the hand cannon here. So, no movement item. That's the key difference here between Cam and Sean is Sean, no movement item. So, these guys, when rotating out of this scenario, are going to have to be careful. Hopefully, Sean's able to find a chest here and can find a movement item to not slow his teammate down too much in high stress situations. And it looks like, actually, I didn't even notice. I don't know how, but very little shield picked up or potentially even just found it all. I know Cam has the big, but with the amount of shield that these guys are lacking, that is definitely a concern that they're going to have to be aware of. It does look like Sean is able to find a movement item. And the chug splashes there are nice. Could at least give them both a little bonus here. Probably get them to 40 to 50, 60-ish maybe? 40. But at this point, these guys really don't want to take a first engagement, especially where they're at right now, because a lot of the other teams are probably going to have full shield, and we see Cam actually get all up probably to 90. Decided to drink the big that he had, but Sean only being at 40 here, that is a huge weakness in their loot that they've been able to find so far. So hopefully as they continue to move forward, maybe they can find a slurp truck or any shield at this point would be great for them. And now we see the double chainsaw. That's definitely the item you want as movement item, because wow, look at that thing shred. And it does look like our Division 1 has dropped. So once we find the right time to step away, we will step away and check in on our two Division 1 teams. See how those guys are doing, but just going to see here what SniperTimeTV is going to continue to do as a duo. It looks like here they're going to try and farm up some more materials. So actually, I think this is a great time to step away. And let's tune in to the famous people and see how they're doing. All right. Again, famous people being Brady or BL Mace. And Miko, aka SRW Miko. And it looks like we catch them doing the same thing. Hey, but that's how you know. These teams are consistent. These teams are good. These teams know what they want to do. Gonna try and get as many materials here as they can. Obviously, we catch this Division 1 drop in a little bit of an earlier game point than our Division 2 drop. But Brady here absolutely getting as much metal as he can here. We assume Miko is doing a very similar thing. And Lou here, at least on the side of Brady, definitely not where he wants it to be. No healing items, no movement items. And these guys are in a named POI, so you would expect that there would be a lot of chests around. Maybe Brady hasn't decided to go for him yet. Wants to make sure he can get max metal before he does anything like that. And Brady just short of that max medal. Looks like he's going to get it there. And now doesn't have to worry about it anymore, but definitely needs to find some more loot. His loadout is definitely not ideal. Taking a quick peek at Miko's loadout here. A little, obviously a bit better than Brady's, just in the term of the amount of items that he has and some of the loot that he has, but still probably not ideal. Not seeing either of these players carry a movement item is a little concerning. I don't know if maybe they've just gotten unlucky so far or they haven't looted the rest of this POI. It's definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye out for. But as these guys continue to pick this POI apart, let's switch over to the chefs and see how they're doing. Jack and Zarek, the chefs. These guys are ready to go. Maybe on the hunt for some kills here. Maybe just trying to get into their position. Hard to say exactly here as we're currently watching Zarek's perspective. Loadout being much better here. I'm not having a movement item, but we're seeing good use of the launch pads here. They're going launch pad to launch pad. We did see a looted chest right there. I could give them some details that someone has been up on top of this mountain. They don't decide to launch pad hop again. Chef Jack already has feet down on ground. Now Zarek does as well. Maybe just going to try and take high ground. No, they're actually going to launch pad jump again. You have to wonder where these guys are trying to get to. As it looks like here, the chefs are going to continue to rotate and farm some materials on their way here. But we're going to go back to the primary, SniperTimeTV, and see how they're doing in the mid-game. These guys seemingly actually have a lot of action going on. When I caught them at the prime time here. As we see Sean still not up to full shield. Still only at 50. Don't know if maybe that was from an engagement prior or what the case would have been there. Whoa, Sean tries to take a shot. Cam actually lands one. Don't know if Sean landed any. And it seems like maybe they got the crack, so they are going to decide to push this team. And this is exactly what the chainsaws are meant to do. Now you're seeing the utility of them as Sean absolutely able to fly up on that player. Let's see, can he get the elimination here? He's going to box himself in. Now has to deal with pressure from both sides. And Sean gets the knock. And gonna find the elim. As that's one kill for Sniper Time. And there's still a lot of Fortnite to go. Don't know where his teammate is. So that's something that Sean and Cam are still going to have to be aware of just a little bit. Oh, but actually, we see the car. Anticipate that maybe they're in the car. Actually, no, this is a whole other team. Sean tries to land some hand cannon shots. He doesn't find any. and is able to build over one of them, catches one of them out, and Cam actually finds the knock, and these guys are going to find a second elim. Potentially another car on the way. Maybe some footsteps now. Looks like Sean and Cam are just going to try to put themselves in a little bit of a better position here. Some natural cover. Sean is able to find a big and is going to drink that. Very important for him to do at this point, especially because they had a couple seconds of downtime. Going to pick that hand cannon back up. I believe, yeah, that puts Cam at carrying 3 bigs as well, so. These guys' loadout's looking really good. It looks like here, maybe we're going to see a switch of an item. Just going to use this natural high ground to try and survey the area. And Storm is on their back, so just going to try and rotate into the circle here. Although a car right below them, oh my gosh, Sean almost gets completely run over, just able to avoid it. And now chasing the car down, doesn't get any shots, but does get peppered from above. They're going to have to be aware here. They are on the low ground. It could be over for them. Surrounded by teams at this point. They are in circles, so they don't really have to go anywhere, at least not quite yet. But definitely going to have to be patient with how they play this. We're going to see them try to use the cone trick here, try to get some intel. And there is a build on the top of that mountain. Would suspect that that's where the shots came from. But only having chainsaws, these guys don't really have a way to effectively rotate up there quickly. Obviously, chainsaws are a great movement item, but it's going to leave them open. And it looks like here they are going to go. Looks like they're going to try and go out and around. They're going to try and contest this team. As Sean very quickly gets up the height, lands a big shotgun shot, but takes a big shotgun shot. Already down to 81. And Sean is going to get knocked here, and Cam at the same time. And unfortunately, these guys are going to get eliminated. Going to take an 11th place with 2 kills, I believe. Hey, still a very good drop for SniperTimeTV, but let's tune back into famous people and hope their drop's still alive. And Brady and Miko are still alive in their Division 1 drop. And I would anticipate that the chefs are as well. Hope that's not a caster curse if they are, and I just, but. And Brady does see some building off in the distance. Hasn't decided to mark it or anything yet. Sean also seeing it. This guy's probably discussing what their plan of attack is going to be here. But it looks like here from the edge of that circle that we can see in the minimap that team is actually going to have to rotate into famous people. So we could see them potentially just hunker down and wait. That bridge is a scary place to be. Still just kind of hunkering here. And it looks like Miko actually did see someone maybe start to cross the bridge. You would suspect here that if the bridge cross does get committed to, we're going to see the edit potentially A duo laser beam is going to come out from these guys. And actually, it looks like they have new problems, as they might be getting built onto, and they are. And a little hectic. It looks like they might try and crash pad out, although it doesn't work. Brady just runs right through it as it gets destroyed. And Sean gets shot out of the air. And just like that, Famous People also gets eliminated. 17th place. But we still have one, if not two more teams. So let's tune in to the chefs. As it looks like the chefs are still alive here. Currently watching Chef Jack's perspective. 2 kills for this duo already. This is a team that we know. We know they're aggressive. We know they want to get kills. Let's see how they're going to play this mid to late game. Let's see if they're going to W key anybody, or if they're going to try and play smart here. This is a team with a lot of potential. And if these guys can get on the same page and play consistently here, they have really good odds to do great things this season. It looks like they are going to potentially try to close that gap from some players that maybe Chef Jack saw. And the interesting thing I think we see about these guys is they're not really separated, but they're not really together either. Kind of in between that no man's land kind of space where they know it doesn't take them very long to group back up, but they're also able to see different things from different angles. We are seeing some shots on the visual audio, and we're seeing a reboot here. It's currently in Storm. Maybe we're going to see some shots get fired here, try to find someone out of the air. Although not really securing much high ground here. And Chef Jack is still keeping an eye in the Storm, try to find that team that's got the reboot and is rotating in now. And it looks like there's the visual audio indicator. Chef Jack lands a big 90. Can he find the finish? No, he can't. Lands 28, and actually, they do find the knock on one of them. And now Chef Jack going to use a Flowberry Fizz to give himself a little bit of a movement boost here. As they see the build, Jack just wants to make sure that there's no one behind the natural cover as well. Zarek has to close the distance by foot. Just trying to do his best here. And it looks like here that other player might have just gotten out. Gonna make sure they secure the elim here. That is the 3rd kill for the chefs. These circles are getting smaller and smaller by the minute here. And now this is a little worrisome. Chef Jack, even though this could be that player from the duo that they just knocked, this is a little bit of a dangerous situation because if Chef Jack gets called out, luckily Zarek is there now. Did take a big shotgun shot though. Chef Jack struggling with his builds a little bit. Trying to find a spleef here. Zarek trying to get a different angle. Lands a big 70, actually 66, excuse me. Another 10. Zarek absolutely W keying and finds the flank on the player to get the elim. That's now 4 for the chefs as they continue to impress. And now it looks like they could potentially third party another fight going on in front of them. Need to make sure that they're both ready to go here. And a lot of action going on actually all around them. Trying to find a couple shots in the air. Zarek unfortunately can't hit any. And well, I didn't even know this storm is a brewing. It's a coming. Luckily, Chef Jack has the Flowberry Fizz to help him get out of it. Zarek goes first, though. Doesn't really need the movement bonus. But this time, securing that they both get it. As they're going to try and take this high ground here. They anticipated that someone was going to be up there, but they weren't actually, so. As they continue to move into the circle here, they're kind of uncontested. Chef Jack takes a couple shots. Although, right into combat here, if they jump via that Flowberry Fizz, Zarek does a really good job of getting high ground. He's trying to continue to build up. Tries to give his teammate an angle here, but they're both in the same box. We see an edit, and Zarek gets a knock on one, but takes a big shot himself. And I didn't even realize Chef Jack is currently down, and unfortunately is going to do it for the Chefs as they take 9th place with, I believe, 4 kills, if not 6. Very good drop from those guys. And now we will tune in just to see if the corrupt Capybaras are still alive, and if so, watch them for a little bit. It looks like we are in luck because they are. And I know I said it a little earlier, but I misspoke that Cohen is actually not here tonight. So Gavin is playing these drops solo tonight. And now Gavin's going to have a lot to do. We've talked about it multiple times. The pressure of playing by yourself. The disadvantage you have of already being down a man, starting these drops. But luckily for Gavin, he's got Coach Connor in his ear, helping him figure out some of these sticky situations. Although this circle is about as bad as it can be for Gavin, as he has to cross what seems like an ocean to get to the other side. A lot of shots going on, and Gavin's going to start the swim. And has gone unnoticed. That's best situation for Gavin, actually. It looks like here, Gavin's still trying to play under the radar. Doesn't want to build, doesn't want to take any shots. It looks like now he is going to build up. Just to give himself a little bit of perspective here. Oh, does land a big 30 shot, though. Not in a position to push it, though. And Gavin just keeping an eye on his opponents. Although I think he was hit by that scan, so he's going to have to play a little careful, as he does take some damage there. And is just going to try and get out, try and reposition. Although it takes a lot of damage, down to 54 health. And maybe 1 shot, and now down to 8. Is he able to get distance? No, he can't. As corrupt Capybaras are going to fall into 8th place. But just phenomenal drops all around. I have to shout out corrupt Capybaras, Gavin especially, only. But just playing by himself, managing to get an 8th place, just playing very well. Doing everything that realistically he needed to do to try and maximize some placement points here when his teammate is not present. So huge shout out to Gavin. He played phenomenally. And I also want to shout out all of our teams. Obviously, everybody, very good drops tonight. I know there were some drops that maybe didn't go our way, maybe didn't go the way that the teams wanted them to go, but I think every one of our stream games tonight went very well. I think we saw a very high potential of what these teams can do as they, I know we talk about this figuring it out thing, right? These teams are still trying to figure it out. Unfortunately, we are in week 5. We are halfway through the season at this point. So how much time do they really have to figure it out? Well, not much. But if they do figure it out, like now, like it needs to be now, and if that does happen, they are able to hopefully secure some really good placements, and they'll be able to put themselves in a position to go to playoffs. Now, that being said, Fortnite, especially Division 1, same with Division 2, but especially Division 1, is very competitive. You guys know, and even just see it from the competition that we get to watch here. You have people like Chef Jack and Zarek running down at you. I mean, those guys are just phenomenal at the game. Very good aim, very good with building. That's a team that we expect to do great things, and I think that they should be proud of their drop tonight. Even though I think place-wise, it's probably not where they want to be. You cannot discredit a 9th place with however many kills they did end up getting. I'm not exactly sure of the final count, but just huge placement from those guys. Huge placement from the famous people. SniperTimeTV maybe fell a little short where they wanted to be. Those guys are still really trying to clean things up. That's a duo that's been around for a little while, and I think those guys are just continuously growing together. That's the huge part about Sniper Time, is they're doing so well at growing that even though maybe they're not performing where they want to, they're just learning and growing so much that it doesn't really matter because of that experience that they're gaining. So, with that being said, you guys know that, well, this is kind of the downtime. We got a couple minutes here before we go into the next drop. And let me just get a quick update to see if I can find anything for you. Maybe just a few minutes. Let me take another peek. Yes, just a few minutes here. So, obviously, we don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but estimated to be just 2 minutes. So, I just continue to do my best to talk to you guys. But I hope you guys are doing well, obviously. Hope you guys are enjoying the drops. I think, like I said before, I think on stream this is probably the best stream Fortnite from every single team that we've got to see. So I really hope you're enjoying that aspect. But with that being said, now is the time to go get some food. Go grab a little grub, maybe a little drinky, do whatever you need to do. Maybe a little popcorn. Popcorn sounds fire right now. But do whatever it is you need to do. Maybe take a little trip to the bathroom to make sure that you're not missing any Fortnite action here, as more and more drop codes are getting ready to go, and we are just 1 to 2 to a few, however many minutes away to see Division 2 drop again. But real quickly, let me just make sure that when that Division 2 does drop, we can tune in right away. Just give me uno momento. And it looks like SniperTimeTV is locked in. They're ready to go. Just waiting for their drop to happen at this point. And I wonder, the interesting thing about Sniper Time is they haven't really found a location that works for them. And we've seen these guys switch it up quite a bit. And that location that they dropped in drop 1, the last drop, was really good. It really gave them a lot of time to loot up, to farm materials, to be where they wanted to be before they started to take those engagements. So I think this is something that's very important for them to kind of do. So it'll be really interesting to see if possible, if we're going to see Sniper Time go to the same place, or if they're going to try to switch it up again, which, to be honest, I hope we don't see. I think they should go to the same place. You guys know I'm a big fan of the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that drop spot was not broke, so they should not fix it. But I'm just a caster. What do I know? As we continue to wait just another minute or two here for this drop to actually get started. And you guys know the thing here, the way that it goes. And actually, if this is your first time tuning in, let me re-explain to you how we kind of work our system here. So we have a primary, secondary, and a third team. Actually, this week we have a fourth, a little extra, a little hidden Easter egg. But that's besides the point. as we watch these teams, obviously we try to watch the primary the most, the secondary the second most, and the third or the least, or however you want to describe it. But with that being said, as these teams move up through their placements, and by that I mean on the amount of time that we will watch them, then we will then rotate them off to bring new teams in. So for this week, as an example here, SniperTimeTV is the primary, of course, and next week they will be off of the stream sheet, unfortunately. Oh no, so sad. Please don't hate me. We'll miss you. But we will then potentially see them in a later week come back as we continue to rotate and really reset the rotation of teams that we are seeing. And that is why we are seeing the Chefs make their return tonight. And then obviously once we get into playoffs, things might be a little different. We might try every team. We might just do as many teams as we can. It will be very interesting to see how we're going to do that with playoffs. But obviously teams have to qualify for us to be able to stream them in playoffs. So and again, just another minute here, drop seeming to go a little late. So you guys know I always like to apologize on the Fortnite nights because obviously there's nothing I can do to control these drops. I wish that I could. I wish I could just streamline it and get you guys all good to go. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not in my hands. And sometimes we do see little delays like this where it takes another minute or two. But as soon as our Division 2 drop gets started, which is the one that's scheduled to happen first, I will switch on over for you guys. And it looks like here, ask and you shall receive. Division 2 Fortnite is just starting. So let's switch on over and watch Sniper Time TV. All right. In the lobby here. And we don't actually see them ping early, so maybe we are going to see a change of drop spots. Nothing quite yet, though, ping-wise. And actually, I was correct. They are going to go to the same drop spot. They are following my motto. And last time, though, we did see a team, I don't want to say contest, but maybe drop in a similar vicinity. So, have to keep an eye on that. And actually, it looks like maybe they're trying to scout out a little bit more this time. As we see Cam instantly deploy the glider here. Maybe once they get an idea if anybody is going to try and contest them or be anywhere around them. As Sean goes low very quickly. Maybe wanting to get to the ground very quickly. The problem with that, though, is Sean's going to get to the ground so much faster than Cam is. So he's going to need an extra few seconds to loot up here to get in a position where he wants to be. As Cam is almost, or excuse me, Sean is almost already at ground. Cam now joining him as low as he can be, but and it looks like here Cam doesn't want to land on top of the roof. Gonna go all the way down to the launch pad, the helicopter pad, to find these two chests. And really good loot to start out. The minis, the med kit, and two solid weapons here. So I was saying maybe not the weapons that they would prefer to have, but still nothing wrong with what they're carrying at this point. And we're gonna see here Cam instantly gonna switch that shotgun. He finds a better one. And that chest is still in the stall. Someone get that out of there. That is not where it belongs, y'all. And we're still seeing the same thing we saw last time. Sean only being at 50 shield. RNG maybe just not on their side here. So you really want to get to 200 as quickly as possible. And actually, this is exactly what I talked about. Sean ready to go. Cam still needs a few minutes here to get himself sorted out. And now it looks like roles have kind of switched a little bit. And they are able to find a couple more chests around here, so maybe Sean is going to get lucky. He's going to find a big that he can use, and it looks like ask and you shall receive. It's not the caster curse tonight, it's the caster gifts. As Sean does, in fact, find the big. He's able to get himself up to 200. And Division 1 still has not dropped yet. So obviously, once they do, we'll switch on over just to get some quick updates as the early game goes on for them. But till then, we're going to continue to watch our Division 2 team and see how much of this early game they can play their best. Really just picking apart this little boathouse dock here for a bunch of wood. And I'm honestly surprised we didn't see more of this at the building, the office building, because a lot of different material types potentially in that building. And these guys just leave it all behind. Now I know Storm, is moving in on them, but still a lot of time. Storm has not taken that building over yet, so these guys could have potentially been close to max brick, if not much higher in the metal count too. Instead, decide to go early and don't even have max wood yet. And that's one of the decisions that really impact you, not so much in this early game, but really in the late game of Fortnite. You guys are going to continue to go here. Potentially maybe going to try and find some high ground on some of these mountaintops. And it looks like Division 1 is about to start, so we're not going to flip over quite yet. We're going to give those guys a couple more minutes to make sure they're actually in the drop and make sure that their games has started. But we're going to see SniperTimeTV really try to find a good position here. And this is where those kinds of decisions, impact you. Because now we're seeing Cam having to farm brick in this transition point in between the early game and the mid game. Which maybe if they would have farmed that building a little bit, he would have been much closer, wouldn't have had much to farm. A little unlucky there as Cam overshoots where he wants to actually be, but doesn't take any damage, so just gonna find some free loot. And now we're gonna see the getting of metal from these guys. And this HQ is a place that they really like to be. We've seen this team go here time after time after time. And typically not start here, but they always end up here. So I would even anticipate that they're going to hunker down here while they can. And just survey the area around them. With that being said, let's tune in to famous people and see how they're doing early in their drop too. All right, famous people, Brady and Miko. So it looks like they're still looting up as much here as they can. Currently at Harmony Hills. And this was actually the same drop spot they went to last game, so you would anticipate that they're going to try and pick this place apart, get as much metal as they can, You see Miko doing it. We see Brady doing the same thing. Well, you guys can't see it, but I can. It does find some chug splashes there. That's actually huge for them. They're going to be able to get both up to almost max. Obviously, just 10 shield short. So, oh, that was a little bit of a tongue twister. And really just farming up here, trying to make sure that they're at max material. See Miko going for a couple rocks here. Just to make sure he can get all but to max brick. If not at max brick, Brady still picking apart. Harmony Hill is gonna surely try and get to max metal. And while these guys continue to farm up, let's tune into the chefs and see where they're at. It ain't the chefs if we tune in the early game and they already have a kill here. And so it looks like they're still looting up a bit, farming a bit. Oh, Zarek actually sees someone. We're going to see another engagement here. Tuned in right at the exact moment. Zarek only able to land one shot. Actually has to back up a little bit. Takes a little bit of shotgun spray. Big 27 there. Jack holding a little bit of a different angle. And now Zarek going to go in. He's got that purple shotgun, so it's going to deal a lot of damage if he can find a shot off. And the other team actually doing a great job at getting height, keeping Jack and Zarek kind of pinned in here. Although a big 50 there from Zarek. He isn't able to get the knock, but that was White's. And it looks like now they have a free moment, so they're going to decide to shield up. Just going to try and wait out their opponents here. And it looks like now maybe the chefs are going to try and get out. Maybe just try and get a little bit of a different location here. No, it does look like they are fully going to get out. Maybe we're going to try and find some ammo. Maybe just some better loot. Derek's loadout, definitely not ideal. And they're going to take the launch pad and just get in a different position here. So we're going to see Zarek try to make himself as hard to hit as possible. And we're going to see the launch pad hopping again. Although, maybe they didn't find one on the ground, so couldn't do it as much as they would like to. Have to keep an eye out behind them. It looks like Zarek does see one of those players. Does take a couple shots. Doesn't find any, though. Although is able to find one bullet there. 41, 39, another bullet. And now situations have been flipped. Jack and Zarek both have high ground. They need to try to do their best to keep this and make this team one-dimensional. No shots have really landed yet. We saw the couple from Zarek. Don't know if Zach hit, or excuse me, if Jack hit any. And a reboot going off in the distance. Zarek, who do you think you are? As he tries to fire a couple shots, doesn't land any, but man, that would have been insane if he would have hit some of those. We're seeing here actually a little bit of an interesting decision. Chef Jack and Zarek kind of give up their high ground, actually decide to push the team that had just rebooted We're going to try and catch some players out. Zarek just trying to get his mats up as much as he can. See a lot of staircases around. Just going to continue to hunt this team down. It looks like they might have escaped the hunt, the absolute terror that is Shift Jack and Zarek trying to kill you. And with that being said, we're going to switch back to our primary team of Sniper Time and see how those guys are managing. And what a time to come back. I don't know what we missed, but Cam actually eliminated Sean, left all by his lonesome here. Trying to spleef the tower out. She's just about got it done. Needs to shoot one more wall. Although it takes a couple shots. And we do see that the spleef was successful, making that player drop just a little bit. And Sean right on the edge of circle, so has some interesting decisions here. He can either try to get in early and hold a good position, or can try and hold right at the edge here, potentially find any teams that are lacking as they're rotating in. Tries to fire a couple shots, but again, gets some third-party bullets shot at him. Cam really doing his best here. Although Cam lands 2 bullets, but does take some in response. Still has another mini. He can get himself back up to 50 here, though. Has to be careful. And I'm surprised we haven't seen him rotate out yet. We now see the car. And it looks like here we are going to see an engagement. Actually, Sean's going to try and launch pad out. He does get it off successfully. Is he going to take any damage from the air? And he is actually able to secure a spot to land here. Doesn't take any damage through the air. Get himself back up to 200. Although it looks like maybe he was getting followed. I don't know if he sees that. It looks like maybe he does. He tries just to secure this restaurant bar that he's currently hanging out in. Still in a good position material-wise as well, so he doesn't have to give himself up. And almost runs directly into a duo. A quick change of path that was. and now has to make sure that he doesn't get jumped here as Storm is right on their tail. Sean just doing his best to try to build a buffer here as someone else actually jumps on him, but he's able to find the knock and takes very little damage himself. Can he find another knock? He's so low. He does. Actually, that's an elim of the duo. And now with the broomstick. Doesn't decide to get out quite yet. And does finally get out of that storm. Thank you, broomstick. Sean continues to live on. But actually, I didn't even notice he had the med kit, so it's going to be able to get himself back up to 100 health here. No shield, though, so he's going to be stuck at 32 shield. And he's got a long way to go to get to this new circle. But only 9 players left, 8 not counting Sean, so very good placement no matter what at this point. Does land some shots here. I don't know if that was an explosion or what that was, but luckily he doesn't take any damage from it. And now he decides to get out with a broomstick, almost goes right to another duo, and actually takes over the bottom of their base here. And it looks like here he's going to have to try and use some materials to build here, but no, little unlucky there for Sean as those guys finish off a great drop, a 6th place with 2 kills. Huge shout out to SniperTimeTV, as now we're going to tune in to famous people and see if they're still alive. As famous people in a similar situation here, Miko being the player that has been eliminated, Brady all on his lonesome. And it looks like the chefs are still alive as well. And I believe the corrupt Capybaras are still alive in their Division 3 drop. So huge shout out to all of our teams for playing just phenomenal Fortnite tonight. And it looks like Brady here is just going to chill and try to secure some placement. So let's take a quick tune into the chefs and see what they're cooking up. So it looks like here, taking a couple of shots into the storm, Jack actually lands a big one there for 28. Now, Storm staring them down. They're going to try and get out of here, but going to be forced to take an engagement that maybe they don't want to. And Jack actually gets knocked early. And now Zarek's got a lot to do here and just can't do enough as the chefs are going to fall. And now we're going to tune into the corrupt Capybaras and see how they're doing in their drop. Gavin here, still alive with 3 kills all by himself. Gavin doing a great job as a solo in these drops. 11 people still alive, 10 not counting Gavin. He's going to build up a metal base here. Though has to be careful. He might get jumped. Oh, actually, it looks like the car decides to leave him be. I spoke too soon again. Gavin tries to get out. Tries to take an engagement here. He lands so much damage. Can he find the knock? And he does. Actually, that was a straight elim. That is now Gavin's 4th kill as a solo. 6 people left. 5, not counting Gavin. And now he's got a car at his disposal. And it looks like here, actually going to try and build up. Maybe going to try and find another kill. No, going to use the broomstick to rotate away. And actually, a little unlucky for Gavin as he gets shot out of the air. 4th place. Wow, what a phenomenal drop from him. But let's tune in to the only team left, Famous People. Solo, we take it. Keeping the 4th, 5-0 behind your ball. And at this point, Brady just going to play the battle of endurance. Brady actually has a lot of heals, so we could see maybe him try to outlast some of his opponents. Players continue to wind down here in this Division 1 drop. Brady just able to fly under the radar here in the building that he's in. Players continue to get eliminated left and right. But Brady's not been pressured at all. And Circle, excuse me, does get pulled. And man, that is not great circles. There's a lot of it in the water. Brady still has, realistically, a lot of time before he has to move. Maybe you're going to try and go early, though. Trying to survey the area around him a little bit. And with 10 seconds left, no, I spoke too soon. Thought he was going to go. Storm is a closing in. Now, honestly, with all these chug barrels, Brady really could outlast, but with how far that is pulled, I have to wonder if it's even worth it. And actually, it does look like that is going to be Brady's plan here. Maybe he's just going to try and use these barrels to buy himself just a few couple seconds of time. And he gets right back up to 100 with all those barrels. Still taking quite a bit of damage here. Doesn't have a movement item, so just has to sprint his way out of the storm, and he does. And just like that, he's right back up to 100, 200 in total. Although some shots come through, he has to be aware. Don't know exactly where those shots came from. And this water is not doing Brady any favors at this point, trying to go unnoticed, although hanging right on the edge of the storm here. As Brady just doing his best. I'll play patient. Does see another duo, though, directly north of him, and it looks like he might actually get crashed onto here. Brady's going to head it down, try and continue to keep this low ground, try to continue to go unnoticed. So many shots getting fired at Brady's build, but none at him. Although another duo is right above him, he has to play this so carefully. And it looks like maybe that duo above him decided to rotate out with some kind of maybe a launch pad or something, but Brady's going to have a pretty much an uncontested swim to the circle here. He does a great job at securing the bush. And he's going to continue to do this natural coverage until he has to. And, okay, that time it was a caster curse because that was unlucky. Going to hug the rock right on the edge of this body of water. Although a duo very close to him, directly northeast. Brady going to take a couple shots. Very interesting decision as he does get rotated onto and really has to play this carefully again. Seen him do it for quite a while now. Although that storm is closing in quickly, and Brady has to go. He does take a couple shots of damage. Although it takes a lot of damage there, down to 59 health. Although a big 65 shot there, though. But goes back into the storm, and that is going to be it for Brady, as he's going to end 6th place. What a way for Brady to end there. What good gameplay from Brady to try to do his best to secure placement for his duo. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is my favorite time of the night where we have our post-match interviews, and I get the honor of speaking to Zarek, a.k.a. Mermaid Man. Zarek, talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling after those drops.
Actually pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw you and Jack, I think, finished, what, 6th, 8th, something in that drop. Ninth. Yeah. 9th with quite a few kills. I didn't exactly get to see the drop 2 placement, but you guys are a very aggressive team at this point. Is that something that you and Jack are going to continue to do as we move into playoffs here?
Well, really, the second game, we were mostly aggressive because we wanted to try it out, considering how we've been contested every week, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And
try to play passive.
And you guys are very capable of playing that aggressive play style, right? You and Jack both very solid players. You know, both great with builds, both great with aim. As we move into, and as you guys may or may not decide if this is a play style that you're wanting to do, are those kinds of things that we're going to continue to see improvement on?
I just say so, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally here, I want to talk. We've heard from both you and Chef Jack a little bit about comms, and comms not being exactly where you guys wanted them to be. Can you tell me about how they were tonight and if they were improved on from the past?
Maybe a little better. Focus on one person. We should have, pushed some fights, but we didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's part of, the growing and learning process is just figuring out what you need to do and when you need to do it. But I think you guys obviously had phenomenal drops tonight and pretty consistently have pretty solid drops. So obviously we'll continue to watch you and continue to root for you and hope to see you in the playoffs.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. All right. I don't know who's coming up to the booth next. It looks like it's going to be Brady, the man of endurance himself, as he makes his way up. Brady, just got to talk to you a couple nights ago, but now in a little bit of a different scenario in the build situation. So talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling after those 2 drops.
I forget. What place did we get in the first one?
I don't remember.
That second one, I just let everybody get the points for me.
Yeah, and I really want to talk about that second one. You specifically as a zero build player, were you using any of the zero build tactics there in the build mode to just keep yourself calm, keep yourself collected, so that way you could kind of fly under the radar of these teams?
Yeah, I'm just trying I'm not trying to do as little as possible so nobody knows that I'm there. And then, once everybody moves ahead of me, I just quietly move behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the pressure and the, well, for lack of better words, chaos that kind of goes on at the end game, right? We've seen it from multiple teams at this point, and you having to play a little differently this week in that drop 2 specifically with Miko dying. What are you doing in the chaos to make sure whether you are using it to your advantage or trying to play under it?
I'm just trying to stay behind everybody, so like they're shooting each other, so I'm just trying to get a free wave through.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brady, you and Miko have really improved as we've continuously seen you guys play here. I'm not typically a man of predictions, but are you guys hoping to make it into playoffs? What are you hoping to improve on for that time? Can you talk to me a little bit about the inside of that?
We're gonna try and keep our location for us because this week we didn't have anybody land there like last week.
Okay.
And let me think. Just keep finding the mobility that we need because if I had mobility at that end game there, I probably could have lasted a little bit longer.
Absolutely. Mobility, especially this season, being such a huge part of it. So, well, Brady, of course, wish you luck. I know we're going to see you in the booth again, so we're going to continue rooting for you, and hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs.
All right.
Thank you. All right, then it looks like now I get the man himself, good old Coach Kyle, is going to make his way into the booth. Oh, we missed him last Monday, and we got him on a different day, but now he is greeted into the booth. Coach Kyle, how are you feeling after some very good Fortnite?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I feel like it's the same story every time that you and I come up here and have a conversation where I'm like, I feel good.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, immediately, the laundry list of things I want to address or talk about or improve on, it all pops into my head. So I am working on trying to be present and enjoying this moment before I immediately go into like coach mode of like, all right, what do we address for next week? But no, I feel really good.
And I have to kind of shout out here. I think this was overall wise. I think this was the best stream that we've had.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you as the coach that players are improving or what's going on in your mind when it comes to
I
that?
don't even need to take a guess because I can tell you more of our players are watching VODs and they all, because I've gone from like 2 people very sheepishly going, I watched the VODs, coach. And now it's like 6 people like, yeah, I watched the VODs and legitimately there's like 5 or 6 things that I'm beating myself in the head over because I want to change it or improve on it for next time.
Absolutely.
So like Zarek literally was like during one of the match goes, man, I said we should do better on that, and we did not do better on that immediately. I was like, I'm dying.
And honestly, that's just a huge shout out to Zarek for the awareness.
Oh my gosh,
to know something like that.
But all of them too. Parker is starting to look at the VODs a little bit more, or like at the very least consider what he's doing in the games. Micah has been looking at the VODs, which is super, super impressive, especially because he's relatively new. So for him to like take the initiative and just immediately step up and be like, I'm watching my VODs, man. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna get better. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
So.
And I want to talk about, we saw, a couple times where someone in a duo died or unfortunately for Gavin, where he's just by himself the whole drop. But how does the coaching kind of change in that scenario where instead of 2 players, you go in with one?
Massively. I mean, I told everybody we had 3 players who are solo dolo tonight. And like, you have to kind of change the way that you play. You can't be as assertive. You can't be, exerting that kind of pressure on other teams. You can't take... Like, I want to call them exploratory shots, but you can't take, like, an engagement across the map and hope to ding them.
Yeah.
Because if they turn around and they get height on you, you're just cooked. And it's not, like, a skill issue. It's more of there's 2 of them and there's 1 of you.
You're just at a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. So it changes entirely the way that you have to play. Now, thankfully for, in Gavin's case, Coach Connor got to kind of be embedded with him, which was super, super convenient. I was kind of floating around helping Cam and Micah make sure that they got through their single stuff. So a little extra TLC, a little extra love during the actual match. But other than that, I mean, it's just changing from trying to exert pressure on the match to trying to really play defensively. And you have to, unfortunately.
And finally here, I want to talk specifically about Brady. Brady has now come full circle with build, no build, and coaching.
Yes.
So when it comes to Brady specifically, what kind of things are you doing it differently because he's already applying that analytical mind?
I'm trying to teach him firebending so he can finally become the Avatar, and then he's got all 4 things. No, I mean, for Brady, it's polish, right? Like, once you get to a certain level of mastery, it's just polish.
Yep.
I'll give you an example. In that last game, you guys got to watch Brady basically play John Rambo and hide in bushes and build in basements and just like hang out and take a 15th place finish to a 6th place finish by hiding, which, it might not be glamorous, but it gets you the points, right? And of all the things, like you could probably pick out 12 things that Brady did really well that game. But it's my job at this stage in his evolution as a player to pick out the one thing that he did poorly, which is, in this case, why are you taking shots at that guy?
Yep.
Yeah, you have a clear shot, but it's not going to be an instant kill, and you are sandwiched in between 6 teams, and you have just given away your position, and you saw as soon as he made that shot, all of a sudden 3 people were like, oh, you're alive down there.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it was just like, welcome to Bulletsville. And
Yes.
it's great. And again, it's that kind of stuff, right? You can't, like for Brady or for Zarek, for Jack, for Lachlan, for our players who have been here for a long time and have won a banner or two,
Yes.
have started to sort of really like come into their own as competitors. We're just polishing at this point. Like it's not like there's any giant glaring holes in their game. It's our job to look for the tiny tears that are stopping them from taking a 6th place finish to a 1st place finish or something along those lines. Right?
Absolutely. Well, first, Kyle, thank you so much for your time up here. Of course, it's always a pleasure having you in the booth and getting to chat with you.
As
But,
always, my friend. Thank you. Goodbye,
absolutely.
everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here at VHEL and Camp Hill. Tune in when next? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe tomorrow. It's hard to say if matches are going to be going on Thursday, so just keep an eye on those notifications. From myself, Coach Christian, and from everybody here at VHEL and Camp Hill, thank you guys so much, and good night, everybody.